In 1937, the world lost one of its boldest explorers. Amelia Earhart vanished without a trace. Was it a crash, or something sinister? Imagine flying across the vast Pacific Ocean, the sky stretching endlessly before you, when suddenly, your last communication fades into silence. Amelia Earhart's final flight began as a daring journey. She was on her way to make history, but instead, she became part of aviation's greatest mystery. In this video, we'll delve into the unknown, exploring the theories, the evidence, and the unexplained circumstances behind her disappearance. We'll look at everything from the tragic crash theory to the possibility that Amelia was captured by enemy forces in the tense years leading up to World War II. Are you ready to uncover the truth behind one of the world's most puzzling vanishing acts? Stay tuned, and let's dive into the mystery of Amelia Earhart's disappearance. Amelia Earhart was more than just an aviator. She was a symbol of courage and progress. Born in 1897 in Atchison, Kansas, Amelia's early life didn't foreshadow the trailblazing adventures she would embark on. But she was determined to challenge the conventions of her time. By 1932, she had already made history as the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic. But Amelia wasn't satisfied. She dreamed of flying around the world. A journey that would push the limits of aviation and show the world that women could achieve the impossible. In June of 1937, she took off on that very journey, accompanied by her navigator Fred Noonan, in a Lockheed Electra. They left from Oakland, California, planning to circumnavigate the globe along the equator. Over the next few weeks, the journey went smoothly. They flew from California to South America, then to Africa, and through Asia. Everything seemed on track for the historic flight until they reached New Guinea. On July 2nd, Amelia and Fred departed for the final leg of their journey. A flight to Howland Island, a tiny speck of land in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. The plane was fully loaded, the skies clear, and Amelia was in high spirits. But, despite the clear weather, this would be their last known contact. The simplest explanation suggests that Amelia and Fred crashed into the Pacific Ocean. Some theorists argue that they miscalculated their location and ran out of fuel before reaching Howland Island. This would have left them with no choice but to ditch the plane. Over the years, the theory has gained traction because of the absence of any wreckage found despite extensive search efforts. The U.S. Navy conducted the largest search operation ever at the time, covering over 250,000 square miles of ocean. Yet, no wreckage was ever recovered. Some experts believe that the vastness of the Pacific Ocean and the flight's remoteness contributed to the mystery. The ocean, after all, is unforgiving. The idea that Amelia and Fred simply disappeared without a trace is a haunting one. But, was it as simple as a crash? Another theory that has captivated many is the idea that Amelia and Fred survived and became stranded on a deserted island. In 1940, British colonial officials discovered bones on Nkumaroro Island, a small coral atoll in the Pacific. Though the bones were lost before they could be properly studied, the measurements suggested they might have belonged to a woman of Amelia's height. Along with the bones, evidence of human habitation was found, including a woman's shoe and a partial metal object that some believe could have been part of Amelia's plane. Could Amelia have lived for weeks or even months on this island, waiting for rescue that never came? Despite expeditions to the island over the years, no definitive evidence has been found. However, the theory still lingers. especially after more recent sonar searches in 2025 failed to rule out any possibility of the plane's wreckage being on the ocean floor near the island. Perhaps the most controversial theory involves the possibility that Amelia and Fred were captured by Japanese forces. During the 1930s, tensions were rising in the Pacific, and Japan was expanding its influence. Some have speculated that the plane could have been intercepted by Japanese soldiers, and Amelia and Fred were taken prisoner. This theory is based on a photograph that surfaced in the 1970s, showing two Westerners, supposedly Amelia and Fred, on a dock in the Marshall Islands, then under Japanese control. The authenticity of the photo has been debated, but the idea that Amelia was a pawn in espionage, captured by Japan on the eve of World War II, continues to fuel intrigue. Then there are the survival rumors. Over the years, several individuals have come forward, claiming to have seen Amelia alive long after her disappearance. Some suggest she lived under an alias in Southeast Asia, blending into the local population. Could Amelia have survived for years, staying out of the public eye? These rumors have never been substantiated with hard evidence, and many experts dismiss them as pure speculation. But the idea that Amelia somehow escaped the clutches of the Pacific Ocean and lived in secrecy for decades is a tantalizing one. Was Amelia Earhart's fate truly sealed by the ocean, or did she outwit history itself? To understand Amelia's disappearance, we must also consider the psychological pressure she faced. Amelia Earhart wasn't just a pilot. She was a symbol of progress, of women's strength and ambition. She carried the weight of expectation, not only as an aviator but as a trailblazer in a male-dominated field. But the pressure of fame can take its toll. Experts have long debated whether Amelia might have taken unnecessary risks in pursuit of her dreams. Her determination to achieve the impossible, to fly around the world, may have clouded her judgment. As one pilot once said, "In aviation, even a small mistake can cost you everything." Amelia knew the stakes, but the allure of breaking records and making history might have led her to make decisions that were ultimately fatal. In the end, we may never know the full extent of what led to her disappearance. The psychological strain of fame, the demands of constant scrutiny, and the pressure to succeed could have influenced Amelia's choices in ways we'll never fully understand. So, what happened to Amelia Earhart? Was it a simple crash into the Pacific? Or did she survive for days, weeks, or even years, only to fade away into obscurity? Nearly 90 years have passed since Amelia and Fred disappeared, yet their story continues to captivate us. The theories and evidence are as varied as the possibilities of what might have happened. But what do you believe? Was it a tragic crash? Or did Amelia's fate involve something far more mysterious? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and vote in the poll above. Crash or capture? If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of history's greatest mysteries, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss another investigation into unexplained disappearances. Thank you for watching, and keep searching for the truth.